Hey, nurses, how are you? Really hot topic that you guys have already brought to our attention and some myths that we want to bust in a different manner because we've got some new questions coming our way, which is fun and fantastic because we get to give you those answers. My name is Stephanie. I am your seven-figure LNC. Whether you have a legal nursing business, have no idea what legal nursing is, fresh start, experience, it doesn't matter. We are all here to collaborate and really help you. So today's topic is about the myths of the qualifications to become a legal nurse consultant. There are a lot of things out in the field, and because there are no actual national regulations, there are a lot of concerns about what do I need, what do I not need, what to believe. This person says this, I run another group, it says this, Stephanie says this, some other nurse told me this, someone told me that's not possible. There's a lot of confusion out there. So let me clear it up for you. I will explain to you why there are some of the things that there are out there, and it's okay. It's okay if this provides you insight, if it's okay if you go, holy cow, I didn't have to do that, it's totally fine. I'm a person of this just the same. I got all this just from experience. You do not have to wait that long. I'm going to share it all with you today. So specifically in relation to the qualifications to become a legal nurse, what do you need to become a legal nurse? First and foremost, for me to be a registered nurse, LPNs can be consultants. However, your scope is limited. A lot of registered nurses are wanted because you have an opportunity to actually provide testimony to assessments and again, to write out plans of cares and things like that. And there's just a little bit there with LPNs versus RNs as far as testifying and registered nurses over LPNs. I've seen some LPNs do it. I just see a lot more opportunity in the expert field for registered nurses. Number one. Number two, your scope as an LPN is slightly limited. I do think LPNs can become legal nurse consultants. In fact, we have them on our team and they are phenomenal. They're unbelievably experienced and just a wealth of knowledge. I just think there's a right place for them. So LPNs, if you want to become a legal nurse consultant, consulting with another nurse or being on their team, that's what I would recommend versus going out on your own. I just think there are a few limitations simply just based on some of the state laws on what LPNs, I forget the other acronyms that can be used. Again, it's different by state on what the state laws and the guidelines are that might hinder you in some states, one or the other. And that's what we don't want to do is mislead you for a hindrance. So first qualification there, I would say registered nurse. LPNs, look to hook up with a registered nurse and be a part of their team because you are absolutely valuable. There's just some state laws and regulations that may hinder you from doing it alone or doing it independently. I don't want you to come up on those or broach those. There is a myth where all nurses think they have to have a certification. So I want to explain something to you. You do not need a certification to become a legal nurse consultant. Here is how I like to explain this. I became a trauma nurse. I was trained as a trauma nurse. I worked on the trauma unit. I did get a trauma certification, but I didn't need it to be a trauma nurse. Does that make sense? You can become a legal nurse consultant and you can get a certification if you want, but you don't need it to become a legal nurse consultant. The difference in my field of legal nurse consulting is I actually had a certification and I let it go. It did nothing for me. It did not bring me any more clients. It did not boost my website up anywhere. It did not get me any more relations. In fact, no attorney I've ever worked with has ever even asked me about a certification because they don't care. They care about my nursing background and my company and my nurses' background and experience because that's what they're looking for. So do you need a certification? You do not. It's a great sales tactic because, and I'm going to be bold and admit that, because a lot of nurses agree, we've been trained that certifications make you better. As a legal nurse consultant, your experience is your certification. Your medical knowledge and background and experience is the value. The certification doesn't bring value to you. So don't let anyone mislead you in that direction. Again, some companies offer it. It is a great sales tactic. It is a great opportunity. Maybe there are some firms, if you want to be employee as a legal nurse consultant and not work independently, there might be some firms who look for a certification or something. Another myth about qualifications. Do I need to already have a business? No. No, you do not. To become a legal nurse consultant, you don't even necessarily need a business entity. When I started legal nurse consulting, I was just Stephanie Edwards. It was just me. I didn't have a business entity. I didn't have an LLC. I didn't have a name. I didn't have anything. I was just me. I am the legal nurse consultant. So you don't necessarily need a business, okay? It benefits to have one. business startup mentorships like mine, we teach you the ins and outs of the business. We teach you the laws, some of it, and associated with that, how you can look into sculpting and growing your business and having it grow and work for you. But that's not required. So if you don't have a business and you don't have an LLC, don't let that fret you from moving into the legal nursing field, because it's not a requirement. You also do not have to have worked so many hours in the field. That's not a requirement at all. Again, the experience that is absolutely most valuable, what sets you apart, is your medical knowledge, background, experience. It's you inside those walls of home health care, pediatrics, obstetrics, OR, ER, med surg, acute care, long-term rehab, nursing. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. You do not need to have years of experience as a legal nurse consultant to have your own business as a legal nurse consultant. Your medical experience is the experience that they're searching for. Attorneys do law, legal nurse consultants do medicine. That's how we separate the two. And that's how it should be separated. Your medical knowledge and experience is the value, not your experience as legal nurse consultant. Do some attorneys want people who are experienced? Yes. But I will say that some of those attorneys have not been exposed to great capabilities of legal nurse consultants. And so their experience can also be jaded as well, and that to each their own. There's no one to blame, right? Everyone has their own experience, but I want to let you know that it is a myth if you think that that you're required to subcontract. That's another one. You don't need to subcontract. I fell for this myself, guys. I was told I needed to subcontract first before I could have my own business, and that's a lie. I will bold-faced tell you that is absolutely not correct. I teach nurses day in and day out how to start their very own businesses, and I elevated my business into 7 figures consistently every single year, and I ended up not subcontracting first. And I'm glad that I didn't, because when I realized that subcontracting was it was a limiting belief, that I thought I needed to subcontract. I needed to get that experience first before I could have my own firm. No. That's a myth. That's not accurate. You don't have to do that. Again, your medical knowledge and experience is the most valuable. That is the beauty behind legal nurse consulting, is you have so much capacity to come right into this field without having to go back to school, or without having to go get all this experience elsewhere, right? Or what are the prerequisites? Those kinds of things. We think very traditionally because that's how we've been trained. No one to blame. But that's not the requirements to become, or that's not how you stipulate your qualifications to become a legal nurse consultant. Here's another myth. A lot of nurses say, I don't work in a specialty, so I'm not qualified. That's incorrect. You do not have to be of any specific specialty. My med-surg nurses are unbelievably valuable. So med-surg, FYI, to just say I'm a med-surg nurse, guys, that's a specialty. For goodness sakes, that is a flipping specialty. Okay, my med-surg nurses know far more about a ton of crap that I don't know about, and that's good. So you are valuable no matter what your specialty is in nursing. Trust me, there is that and then some in the legal world. We have nurses who work for elevator manufacturing companies, who work for the second largest tire manufacturing company in the world, manufacturing companies who want legal nurses on their teams. There's criminal for legal nurse consultants. There's civil. Okay, there's mass tort, there's products liability. There's so much beyond just what we do as nurses that you can help. There are private practices, private doctor's office and surgery centers who hire legal nurse consultants for policies and procedures, overview, guidance, coaching, etc., development, whatever. You have so much opportunity no matter your background. There is a place for you in this field if you want it. So do not let that myth stop you, okay? Here's another myth about the qualifications. How many years of experience do I need? I don't have enough years of experience. I've only been a nurse for 2 or 3 years, okay? Here's what I will tell you. It's a myth that you have to have a minimum number of years of experience, okay? There is no minimum. However, I will share that my recommendation has always been 5 years. But now I'm going to add on to that. Don't tune out. Don't tune out yet. I have had nurses start and grow legal nurse consulting businesses at 3 years. Nurses of 3 years with bedside experience have very profitable legal nurse consulting firms. So now I've had to change my opinion, because at first I was like, 5 years, that seems pretty like necessary just to have that background and knowledge and experience to bring value. But I've seen nurses at just 3 years challenge me and prove me wrong. And so now I have to tell you, 3 years is what I've seen. There is no minimum. I might not recommend it at 1 year, but there is no minimum. Okay. So those of you who have started nursing during COVID, you've probably seen more than some of us. Healthcare is just moving and evolving so fast, and EMRs and the didactics around that, the technology behind it, the sophistication, the advancements, like you guys have seen so much more healthcare. Anyway, you've seen more in a shorter span of time than I probably saw the first 10 years of my nursing career. And it's just moving quicker. You're seeing them more and you're exposed to more in a shorter span of time, more disease processes, more policy changes, a more diverse role as a nurse, different expectations. I'm telling you, I have to say, like, I have been proven wrong at 5 years and proven wrong at 3 years, because we have nurses combating that all the time, building amazing businesses. And I still have my recommendation. My recommendation now is 3 years, but challenge me and prove me wrong. Again, there is no minimum qualification. A year, I don't believe anyone would necessarily go below a year. You're just really getting your foundation. But I'm not going to tell you because, again, I've been proven wrong. So I want you to seek guidance on that and ask around, but there is no minimum. It's a myth to say that you're required to have so many years of experience to be valuable. Okay, that's incorrect. So a lot of myths that have come through, right? Just on the qualifications, we've talked about no limiting specialties. We've talked about my qualifications. Here's how I should word this. Here's another myth. My qualifications will only allow me to get paid $70 an hour. Wrong again. Do not let your location or what you presume qualifications limit your revenue stream. Every nurse who comes into my mentorship makes $150 an hour or more, and that's the minimum, $150. If they choose to go below that, it's usually volume based, and that is a business consultation and a way to optimize and grow their business where they do a volume based business deal. We talk about that in our mentorship. So there is a difference. And there are no minimum qualifications for your rate or a rate equivalent to your years of experience. It's not like how we're taught, or that there's not a scale like we are taught inside of the healthcare system. So traditionally in the healthcare system, our years of experience means that we're valuable to certain levels of degrees, or puts us in like an income bracket, right? Or a revenue bracket or potential, where you have the ability at, 10 years of being a nurse, 3 years of being a nurse to make this amount now. So we're so used to that. We expect it to be the same, and it's not at all. It's not that at all. You're a consultant. Okay. I want you to just be clear on that, to realize that just because you have 3 years of experience doesn't mean you can only charge $70 an hour versus $185. That's not correct at all. All right. Again, every nurse that I coach makes $150 an hour or more. And if they don't, it's usually volume-based contracts. Okay. Another qualification is having certifications in your areas of specialty. So I've had some people come to me and say, I'm not qualified. I'm a med-surg nurse, but I don't have a certification in med-surg. So I don't have a certification in trauma anymore. I don't have a certification in neuro anymore. I don't have a certification in burn anymore. I had all those certifications and I don't have them anymore. And that's okay. As long as you continue to keep yourself educated and keep your knowledge current. Why do you need that certification? That doesn't bring you any more revenue. Now, as an expert witness, that might provide you leverage, and they typically do as expert witnesses, but as a consultant on the background, in the background, working with the attorney, those things don't exclude you or qualify you or disqualify you. So I just want to clear up a lot of those, guys. But I want to nip some of those myths in the butt for you, because we get those questions all the time. And I think it's really powerful to have that clarity and to know that those qualifications, discuss with other legal nurses, discuss with people. I had a lot of these questions bouncing around my head, trying to figure out, how do I even know if this is for me? How do I even know if I'm applicable, if I'm a candidate? Reach out and talk to our team. They're very transparent. They're going to tell you everything that I told you. They'll help you work through all those kinks and help you decide and help you be able to make a very informed decision based on just our experience in the field and our coaching and what we've taught a lot of others as well. And gathering all my knowledge just from being in the field for 8 years now, I can share that those are the myths of the qualifications, guys. I hope it gives you clarity, but I wanted to get this to you guys and make sure that you had this information, because these questions are coming up constantly. And again, I want you to be able to make a decision for yourself, understanding your options, understanding the field, getting clarity on the requirements, the myths, qualifications, things like that, or qualifications that are not required. So if you have questions about it, message anyone on our team.
Want full access to expert-led trainings, networking opportunities, and resources you won't find anywhere else? The NLNCN is the only national network built for nurses by nurses. Join today and get up to 2 months free. Click the link below to start exploring.